Hi, it's Katrina with Sacktown 5's Capital Cannabis Corner, here with Amy Jenkins, discussing access to retail shops when it comes to cannabis. So many people keep asking about delivery, retail. We figured this topic would be a good one so that you can better understand what's going on in that space, because there's some updates that Amy's going to share with us about it.
Well, we've talked about it a little bit before, but
Right.
again, there was a huge deadline week last week, and there was a lot of bills that got a lot of attention, and one that I think was a bit of a surprise to everyone was a bill that actually would mandate retail in local jurisdictions. So as we've talked about before, a central component to the adult use framework is giving locals the ability to regulate retail in their communities. In this case, it would force local communities where Prop 64 passed with over 50% to actually include retail.
So interestingly enough, a lot of people might not realize that just because California passed Prop 64 doesn't mean every city or jurisdiction in California has allowed cannabis in their communities. Is that right?
Correct.
So in this, an interesting twist to the story, right? By having a mandate put in place for the retail, does that mean it takes power out of the local jurisdictions to some extent?
It does and it doesn't. So what it does is this legislation includes a safety valve, which in essence says that if the local jurisdiction does not want to include retail, and there's a formula all outlined in the bill, then they would have to go back to their local voters. And the voters could say, no, we don't want it in our communities. And again, this would only apply to communities where it passed, where Prop 64 passed, with over 50% of the vote. To put this in perspective, actually there was a great article in the New York Times over the weekend. And it will be surprising to, I think, a lot of viewers today that in Colorado, which is what everyone thinks of when we're talking about legalized cannabis, there are about 560 plus retail shops. Colorado is 1/6 the size of California. Guess how many licensed retail shops are in California?
Well, I would assume that we're getting close to at least 500, right?
Well,
600?
actually, I tell you, before Prop 64, there was rumored to be anywhere between 4,000 and 5,000.
Wow.
There's 620 licensed retail shops in California.
Amazing.
Yeah, so the number is pretty low.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you think that in the next year we're going to see those numbers increase potentially, or?
Well, if this bill passes, I think we'll see a lot more retail.
Right.
And frankly, there's a lot of opposition from the state associations representing local government on this subject. I would say if I was a council member and I had to contemplate putting cannabis in my community, I'd rather give the voters the opportunity to make that decision locally. So to me, it's good political cover.
Yeah, absolutely. And it gives a chance for obviously taking the illegal market, hopefully, out of extinction, right?
We're working
on
that.
Yeah, that's the goal here in Sacramento, California. You heard it from Amy Jenkins herself. Again, thank you all for the ads and follows. Stay tuned. We'll be continuing to cover what's happening in the space of cannabis.